Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm so excited to kind of kick off all of my 2025 planner setups. This is one of my favorite times of the year. I'm really looking forward to how things turn out. First, please ignore my nails. My nails are getting very weak, so I'm just taking a break from getting them done. Anyways, this video is going to be all about my Hobonichi weeks, and I will have separate videos from my cousin and my A6 Techo. So I actually have a pretty long history with the Hobonichi weeks. I used it in 2019, 2020, and 2023. So I have tried it 3 times prior, and I have not finished a what the heck is that? I don't even know. I have not finished a single one completely. So that was 2019. This is 2020. Yeah. And then 2023, I was able to be a little bit more consistent. I actually really like the look of this. I was consistent for a few months. And this was basically my personal planner, where I jotted down things related to the gym, like meeting up with friends, food, mental health. And then I started falling off, I think around July, was it? Maybe August. Yeah, around August. I started not being as consistent, and I didn't finish it. So if you watch my videos from the end of 2023, I think I said that I will never try it again because, you know, again, I've already done it 3 times and it didn't work out. And yeah, for this year, 2024, I skipped out on the Hobonichi weeks, but 2025, I bought another one. I am so desperate to make the Hobonichi weeks work for me because it is just so cute. It is such a cute planner. I love all of the covers, and I just so desperately want to make it work. But for 2025, I am dedicating this to health and fitness. So yeah, if you're looking for inspiration on how to use this for work or something, this is probably not going to be too helpful. Although I do have some setup ideas that you might find inspiration from. I was really trying to figure out why the Hobonichi weeks didn't work for me, but it seems to work really well for a lot of people, especially I see like beautiful spreads on social media of like work planners and kind of using this as an everyday carry. And I think my issue is that in general, planners are meant to help you and your life. And we all live different lives, we have different routines, and our work entails different things. And the way a student or a mom or a working professional or a business owner or someone who's retired, the way they use their planners is going to be different. And so my conclusion was that for the work that I do and the life that I live, this just doesn't work because I don't have too many things to write on the blank note page. And because this is so short, I can fit at most like 6 to-do list items. And again, with the work that I do, typically like in a single day, I have way more to-do list items than just 6. So again, in 2023, I used this just for personal things. So I didn't have too much trouble with running out of room here. But honestly, at times, I was grasping at things to put in here because I don't have much of a personal life. And also, like, I just didn't have much inspiration for the note pages. And again, I was trying to really force something on there. So I think that is why the Hobonichi weeks as a daily planner just doesn't really work for me. But again, I am going to be using this as a health and fitness planner, which I think will work a lot better because it has plenty of space for the things that I want to track, but it's also rather low maintenance. Okay, let's just get into the setup. This is the Liberty Fabrics cover, and I have just the official Hobonichi weeks clear cover that they sell on the website. Oh, and the reason why I picked this cover was because I actually wanted to surprise my sister with a matching Hobonichi weeks for next year. She's not a big planner person, but I thought this would be perfect for her. She is a new mom, and I think she'll be going back to being a pharmacist sometime next year. So I thought, again, just like having a compact planner would be perfect for her. And I picked a cover that I thought she would like, and I got the matching one for both of us. But yeah, I love this. It is so colorful and fun, and I feel like looking at this will just motivate me throughout the year. This is a fitness vinyl, which is going to be one of the freebies for Black Friday. I know I'm gonna be really annoying. One of the perks of being a shop owner and the person who designs things is that I get first dibs at everything. So this will be coming for Black Friday. And then with the Hobonichi cover, there is this little pocket, which I realized was perfect for a little washi card. So this is just a plastic card, and I wrapped some washi tapes around. I thought this would be a nice way to carry around some washi tapes without the full rolls. Okay, and then let me zoom you in. This is a 2025 vinyl from my store, and the typewriter font is one of the new ones this year, and I love it so much. And then at the bottom here, just on a sticky note, I wrote down this quotation: "There is hope even when your brain tells you there isn't." And I just ripped up the bottom empty space and taped it in here. I thought this would be just like a really nice reminder every time I open my planner. It is pouring rain outside, so you might be hearing some water droplets. Okay, oh my gosh, I love this part so much. With the Q4 subscriptions, snail mail, and by extension pen pals, you get this belongs to craft sticker. It's actually on the sticker release paper, and you get 3, and you can letter in your own name. And I totally didn't intend for it to be this way, but again, you get 3 empty labels, and I decided to put 1 in my Hobonichi Weeks, 1 in my Techo, and 1 in the Cousin, so it's perfect. And this kind of reminds me of those library stamps that tell you like which library it belongs to. Okay, then I lettered in "Show up for yourself every day." This is again just like kind of on theme with fitness, health, and mental health. At the bottom here, I put down a little carrot. So quickly about the tabs. This is one of my favorite parts of any setup. I already sell tabs in the store, but I am coming out with like 10 different color palettes, something like that, for 2025, which will be releasing in November. And this is one of them, which I'm really excited about. Okay, I have this like janky version, which is missing October, but this is the TCMC 2025 colors, which matches the 2025 collection. This is January, and the yellow matches. February is like this purple, March is this like teal color, and so on. And it ended up just being this really pretty, almost rainbow pastel color palette, and I love it so much. It'll come with some extras. Again, this is like a janky test version. This will actually say monthly and weekly, not months and weeks. But anyways, because I'm not using this as a planner, I decided to omit putting these tabs down. I did use the pencil one at the back for the notes section. Just a little tip though, if you plan on using the tabs in your Hobonichi Weeks as an actual planner, I think at the bottom you can probably fit in 2 more tabs. Obviously there are 4 here, so you wouldn't be able to fit them all in. One idea is you can put the tabs at the top, but I think that especially with the Hobonichi Weeks, you can disregard the yearly and the daily tabs, because I mean the yearly section is really like these 2 pages at the very front, and I feel like you don't really need a tab for that. And the Hobonichi Weeks also doesn't have a daily section, so I think that you would really only need to put down a monthly tab over here, and then the start of the weekly section underneath, and then shift everything down. Obviously it is up to you, but if I were to use the Hobonichi Weeks as my actual daily planner, that is how I would do the tabs. Here is the Slice of Life calendar overview. Honestly, I just put this here because I wanted to test the size and make sure that it is okay. I don't use the year at a glance at all, but I thought having bits of decoration would be nice. Okay, this is the perpetual calendar section. It's kind of funny. I started doing this in my 2023 Hobonichi weeks and I loved this. So I basically tracked my steps. Back then I only tracked 10K and 15K. So I would shade in the days of the week and then I had abbreviations for my workouts. And then I tracked my monthly step average up top. And after giving up the Hobonichi weeks, I transferred my tracker to the Hobonichi Cousin. Between 2023 and 2024, I really started increasing my steps. So I have a lot more color codes now. I use this half as a tracker and half for normal calendar tests. And at the bottom, this is where I do kind of like a monthly average and a little chart. And I really did enjoy this, except I don't know, I thought it was just kind of weird that I had fitness and birthdays kind of mixed together. And also because I sectioned off part of the column for the tracker, I didn't have much room to write like doctor's appointments and stuff. So yeah, I'm basically going back to my 2023 setup where I track it fully in my Hobonichi weeks. This is a color code that I'm using, which is the exact same as this year because I'm already used to it. And I did adjust my workouts a little bit in terms of the abbreviations. And I have a little bit of room to add more if I happen to take on some other exercises. So instead of doing a chart of the tally, I'm just gonna write the number for the tally at the top. So if 5 days of the month I got 10,000 steps, then I will write a 5 here, and then so on. And then for this row, this is where I'm gonna write down the monthly average for the number of steps. And like before, I'm just gonna shade the days of the week with the coordinating color and write down my workout. So yeah, this has worked for me for the past 2 years, so I think it'll probably work for me in 2025 as well. Moving on to the monthly section. So I'm using the Hobonichi Weeks monthly kits from my store, and I just put down the base for the first 6 months. I didn't put it down for July through December just because I wasn't sure I would be fully committed to doing this. And I suppose, yeah, this is one of the new things that I'm bringing to the store in November. This year I introduced these plastic sticker envelopes, which I have been loving, and I created them in a bunch of other sizes. I have an A5 coming, which is the size of the Hobonichi Cousin, and this is the Hobonichi Week size, which, as you can see, fits the kits perfectly. And I'm just storing all of them in here so that I don't lose them throughout the year because I literally lose everything. So yeah, really excited about that. As for how I will be using the monthly section, again, this is for health and fitness. So I'm not exactly planning anything. The Hobonichi gives you a bunch of extra months for the next year, which is perfect. And I used one of them as a little example spread. So the monthly section will be for my medication and bad habits. And I know this sounds really random, but one of my medications is for ADHD, and I have a bad habit in relation to ADHD. So it kind of, it's related. This is really personal. I feel very uncomfortable talking about this sort of thing, but I hope, I don't know, it helps someone out there. So this is my plan for how I will be using this section. I just used a pencil to section off the first 2 squares. Give you a close-up. So this is an emoji with a dash, and then this is an emoji with a little pill. So the 2 squares above the line, this is where I will be using to track not engaging in my bad habit, which I won't disclose what it is. It's not life-threatening or anything serious, but as with any bad habit, there's a level of shame and embarrassment attached to it, so that is why I don't really want to talk about it. Okay, moving on. Everything under the divider line is going to be related to my medication. This is again just a mock-up, but for example, if I forget to take meds, if I took it 3 hours later than I should have, a dose increase, picking up meds, This one time I accidentally took double the dose because I forgot I already took it. So, things like that. And I think if I have like an appointment, I will box it off so that it is very, very obvious to the eye. At the very bottom, this is where I want to do like a monthly review. So I can talk about notes from my doctor's appointments, what is working or not working for me, tips that helped, and strategies to try for the next month. So I'm pretty hopeful about this. I think tracking not engaging in my bad habit is a great idea for just like motivating myself and not wanting to break the chain. And as for the medication, it is very low maintenance. It's not something that I'm gonna track every day. I know for some people tracking medication every day is helpful because maybe your mood is impacted, but for me, I don't notice any significant differences, so I'm just gonna write down anything that's very notable. Oh, also, one more thing. This symbol with the arrow pointing backwards, this is my idea for maybe those days where I draw an X to mark in that I didn't engage in my bad habit, but then maybe right before I sleep or something, I give in and I engage in that bad habit. I will draw this arrow pointing backwards to kind of indicate that I'm retracting this X. I think data-wise, this is a lot more helpful than whiting it out and kind of erasing that. So yeah, this is what I plan on doing for all of the other months. And I think just having little bits of decoration will be motivating as well. Moving on to the weekly section. Again, they give December as well. So I used one of them as a mock-up. So in case you've never seen a Hobonichi Weeks, there are little dots throughout that divide the horizontal rows into perfect thirds. I just used a pencil once again to divide it into 2 sections. With this section, I'm going to track my running progress, so the number of miles, the type of run, whether it's an easy run, interval, tempo, or long run, the pace, which can either be like the average pace or with the interval runs, like the different intervals, whether I ran in the AM or PM, and then typically I run outside, but if it's a treadmill run, then I will indicate that it's a treadmill run. And then with this wider column, this is where I'm going to keep track of my gym progress, so weightlifting, upper body, leg day, glutes, pull day, cardio, and then little bullet points of the exercise, as well as the weight and the number of sets. And then for some days I skip the gym and I just run, so I am just pointing an arrow into the gym section. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, for the right section, this is where I'm going to keep it just as a free space. I used a pencil to darken this line. Essentially, I'm going to put down headings or stickers whenever I have something to write about, and I will write down my entry to the right. This can be things like mental health articles that I read, fitness articles that I read, maybe a grocery list. Again, anything related to health and fitness. And I'm really excited to do this because in the daily section, I wrote down that I went to the gym. It was a glutes day and I did an incline walk. I ran 3.5 miles tempo, and I do this pretty consistently. But the thing is, I don't really get to see my improvements and my progress. So I really hope that by actually writing down all of these numbers, I will be able to see my improvements throughout the year. So that is going to be the same for all of the weekly pages. In the back, there is also a notes section, and I believe there are 70 pages. There's also the Hobonichi Weeks Mega, which has more note pages if you're interested. I put down this like little charging vinyl, and I love this little sad socket. And again, this is for Black Friday. I'm just using this a little bit earlier. I don't really have a super clear idea of what I'll be using this section for, but as of now, my plan is just throughout the year, whenever I read articles, listen to podcasts, scroll through social media, or talk with people that I know. I sometimes encounter quotations or just like pieces of advice that I find really useful. I kind of want to compile them somewhere. So I thought this would be a really nice place to do it because it's kind of in line with fitness and health. I really like that idea. The only thing is I don't think I will need 70 pages dedicated to that. So I think part of it I will dedicate to quotations and pieces of advice that I encounter, but I will likely have a lot of empty pages, which I will either leave empty or figure out some other purpose for. Okay, and then there's a section for my 100, which just off the top of my head, you can use it to list out books, movies. You can make it like a pen swatch page. There are a lot of creative ideas out there. For me, I decided to use this to track running. Every step forward is proof to myself that I can endure hardship. I put down this little water bottle emoji. And I suppose my goal for 2025 is I want to do at least 100 runs. That would mean on average, I would need to run 3 to 4 times a week, which I think is a very doable thing. That's something that I already do. But I think this is worthwhile just because although it is doable, I still have to have discipline in order to maintain that consistency. So I think this will be really fun. I will just, I think, write down maybe the time or distance. And I don't know if you can see, but I drew little trees on top of the checklist. And essentially, if it's an outdoor run, I'm gonna check it off. And if it's indoors on a treadmill, then I'm gonna leave it blank. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to filling this up, and hopefully I can do 100 runs in 2025. Okay, and then there's a bunch of like extra things which we will skip over. This is something that I started doing in my Hobonichi Cousin very recently, actually. So after you finish a sticker sheet, you can take off the top layer and you're left with a page of sticker release paper. And I just used a tape runner and I stuck it onto this like backing paper. And this way I can put in an assortment of stickers that I use really often, and this way I can plan on the go without having to bring like even my plastic envelopes. This is very compact, but if I'm just like really in a pinch, I can just go to the back of my planner and grab a sticker. So this is something that I plan on putting in all of my planners and notebooks from now on. It is just so handy. So yeah, this is exactly what I did here as well. I lettered in stickers just on the paper, and I stuck on a piece of spare sticker release paper. I don't really plan on using too many stickers in here, so this little space is perfect. Okay, and then in this back section, I just slid in one of their companion notebooks. It comes in a pack of 3, and it's just grid paper. I stuck on this vinyl sticker which says, "The world is lucky to have you," and this is one of my favorites. And the purpose of this is a very secretive notebook. It's basically a place for me to write down my very raw and unfiltered thoughts. It's not just things that I wouldn't feel comfortable posting on social media, but rather things that even if it was a friend or a stranger who out of curiosity was like quickly flipping through my planner, I wouldn't feel comfortable if those things were on the page, even if they weren't stopping to read it. I hope that makes sense. I'm very open about the fact that I do deal with mental health issues, but you know, things like intrusive thoughts, I don't really want to write them down here. So, you know, if I ever want to unload my brain, I plan on just putting it in this companion notebook and keeping it tucked away in here where nobody will be able to read it. And the very last thing is just this Nutrition's Facts vinyl at the very back. This is again one of my favorites. Instead of calories, it is cuteness 100. We have fabulousness, kindness, intelligence, open-mindedness, creativity, vitamin TCMC. Caffeine is of course at 125%, and I'm also part alien. I put it on the back because nutrition labels are typically on the back of boxes, you know? So yeah, that is basically it for my setup. This is very specific to me and my needs, so it probably won't be relevant to a lot of people, but I hope that certain ideas you can still modify for your own planner. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I will again post separate videos for my Hobonichi Cousin and my A6 Techo setup. I hope you have a wonderful day and take care. Bye!